Was God there with them? Somebody asked on one of my posts after visiting the death camps in Germany, was God with those people? I was going to answer just him, but I thought I would go ahead and tell you an incredible story of a valiant lady for all of us. Back in the years that I trained horses professionally, I was asked to train an off-the-track thoroughbred for a convent in Alabama. Now, I've been asked to do some weird things, but this one was a first. This convent was the most badass group of nuns that I've ever met. They all dressed in habits, but were the workman type. They were all heavy machinery operators, dump truck drivers, bulldoze drivers, and crane operators. Their mission was to work on roads and bridges and serve the community in a very different kind of way. One day, a group of them came to see their horse, and they brought with them an older, frail-looking woman whose face was lined with many stories. Even in her frailness, you could sense a great strength and dignity in this woman. You could see she was a Jew that had survived Auschwitz. Getting to have lunch with her was one of the greatest honors of my life. We all went out to eat, and I listened in awe of this lady's story and testimony. She talked about things that we've heard about before: the brutality, starvation, unending torture, like trying to sit on a 2x4 board, suspended 3 feet above the ground in a water-filled pit with bare feet in the dead of winter. She talked about how God sustained them, and how through the terrible torture of the years that she spent there, hope was kept alive. She said that the human body can stand unending torture, being brutalized by the guards, having virtually no warm clothing or food. The human body can even be killed. But God was with them. He promised to never leave them or forsake them, and they clung to his promise. What they carried with them, no one could kill. They carried the hope that they would get out. They carried the hope that the war would end. Together, even in their misery, they could pray at night and pray for courage for each other. Many died along the way, but as a group they held on. God works within the framework that he set up concerning human free will. He could put an end to evil immediately, but that would take away our choice. He specifically designed us to be able to have that choice. If he automatically ended all the evil, especially what people do to each other, then we would be a little bit more than puppets. He chose to create us in his image, which means that we can make choices, have preferences, do good things, or even do very evil things. It must break his heart to see how we use our choices to victimize, to kill, to persecute, to destroy, and choose things for ourselves and others that were never meant for us. Even in terrible adversity, brutalization, tyranny, and loss of life, God stays with us. He sends incredible miracles, often little ones that do not seem like much until you look back. They help sustain us even in the darkest of times. If you want a powerful book to read, read the book If I Perish by Esther Ann Kim. It's about a Korean woman who stood up for Christ during World War II when she was captured by Japanese soldiers. Going back to the Jewish nun, she showed us the number tattooed on her forearm, and she told us her story of how she was released when the war ended and how she made it to America. Not once did I hear her say, "Poor me." Her family was all murdered. She was the last of her people. She said the only thing that kept them going was knowing that God was with them. She said that people that had no faith died. It was as simple as that. She was in the prison camps for over 4 years and lived in one for more than one. So to answer your question, yes, God was with them, even in the death camps. Those that were murdered, he stayed with. He comforted those that lived and gave them new purpose. Free choice was one of the greatest gifts that humanity was ever granted. Use it wisely. Use it for good and not for evil. Jesus said, "I am with you always, to the very end of the age." Matthew 28, verse 20 of the NIV.